How to handle people who judges your child? Would say just ignore, but that's not as easy as it is said. You have to be emotionally stable to deal with it. Let's get into detail on how to handle those people and situations. Most of the parents, especially moms, are struggling to balance their emotional intelligence. Let's see how to manage the emotional balance when it comes to their child. Let's see different situations and how we can handle that. If you are taking your child to a relative's home and child does something wrong, say if the child broke something, first thing, don't immediately feel sorry for what your child did and don't have a guilty face. Let the word sorry just come from your mouth and not from your heart. Children are supposed to break things. Before going to others' home, ensure that there is no thing that is reachable for the child to touch. If you cannot do that in all places, just keep an eye on the child. On top of it, something happens, just clean it up. Have a zero thought about what happened there in your mind. Don't immediately think, oh my god, my son did this. What will others feel? Turn off your thinking process. What others think is none of your business. Let them think whatever and let them cherish that. We don't need to bother about that. You just clean it up and continue to have an eye on child. Don't show any emotions in that place. People will judge your weakness and will touch the same point again and again if you do so. If they say why your child is showing such a behavior, you just say with a confident voice, he is like that, he does that for a reason that we actually cannot predict. If you have any problem on that behavior, we will take a leave and just leave. You yourself don't let your child down in front of such judgmental folks. Say if you are taking your child to a relative's home and child does some unwanted behavior and the relatives say something about your child that hurts you. How do you handle that situation? Before we answer that, one short story about your brain. Your brain has two parts, subconscious mind and conscious mind. The job of conscious mind is to decide what thoughts we should let inside and what thoughts we should not. That is, no one can hurt you in this life unless you decide to let them hurt you. For example, you have decided to hurt me with your words, but it is me who will decide whether those words will hurt me or not. Even if you say the worst thing, if I have decided not to let those words into my mind, then I have decided not to get hurt myself. This is the job of conscious mind. Then, what is the job of subconscious mind? Subconscious mind will believe whatever you say. If you say you are genius, it will believe you are genius. If you say you are stupid, it will believe you are stupid. And that's what will happen. If you say your child has a problem and it cannot be cured, then the subconscious mind will believe the same. If you believe that there is no big issue about your child and that can be treated and improved, your subconscious mind will believe the same and will create those situations to bring those beliefs happen. So be cautious about what you say to your subconscious mind. If you keep saying all negative things to your subconscious mind, it will believe all those and will work hard to bring those to reality. Say if you are scared of ghost and if someone says if you keep the sacred ash vibhuti on your forehead, then the ghost fear will not be there. So when you keep the vibhuti on your forehead, you have this feeling that you will be alright. So what happens here is we made the subconscious mind believe that if I keep the vibhuti, nothing will happen. So it believes and you have that feeling of no fear. Coming back to our question, if you are taking your child to a relative's home and child does some unwanted behavior and the relatives say something about your child that hurt you, how do you handle that situation? Let your conscious mind to work. That is, you consciously decide if you need to let that person's word into your mind or not. If someone says your child has issues with his brain, then you decide not to get that thought into your mind and just tell your subconscious mind that I know my child has some communication issues that I can work upon and not any issue with the brain. That's it. The conscious mind will stop that thought to enter into your mind and you can be peaceful. Already your mind is like a dustbin with lot of unwanted thoughts that need to be cleaned up. On top of that, don't add up others and mess it up. Don't let anyone's negative thoughts to decide your mindset on that day. By doing so, you can deal with your child peacefully and without showing the triggered anger on your child. Next, your child has a habit of checking the handbags of people. Say if a group of relatives have come home and the child immediately goes and check all the handbags. So when you take the handbags away from the child, she cries and shows behaviors. How do you handle this situation? Inform those relatives to keep the handbags away from child's reach before the child can see or reach out to them. You have to avoid situations that triggers the child's behavior wherever possible. Don't spend time only on correcting the behaviors. Correcting behaviors can be done once child starts communicating well with words and can understand the reason why the child should not do. So, always prevention is better than cure when it comes to behavior issues. Your child keeps flapping hands in front of other new people at your home or at others' home, and others notice that and ask you why he is doing that and what would you do. Same here. Don't immediately start thinking about what others think about your child. Let them think whatever they want. What others think is not in your control. So don't let that thought into your mind. Don't get immediately emotional. Instead, if the child does that, don't say him, no, don't do that. By saying that, the child will tend to do more. One of the reasons child may be flapping hands or doing any other sensory behaviors is that he is getting bored as he is idle. When he does that, try to distract him by either interacting with him verbally or non-verbally or try to keep some toys or books that will help him engage himself instead of being idle. Phone is not the only option. Try to interact with him or ask some adult who can help you to handle or play with him when you are talking to someone. If the reason is due to bigger crowd or noise or sensory related lightings or smell, then try to take him outside. Let him relax, talk to him, tell him what's going to happen inside in simple words that he can understand. Use visual pictures on what is going to happen inside. By that way, his anxiety will reduce and he can handle the situation better. Important thing, visit only those people's home who don't judge your child and just take your child as he is. I know it's hard to find those, but there are few good hearted people who can understand you and your child. So find those and spend more time with them and gain positive momentum instead of gathering lot of negative thoughts. What if the grandpa or grandma at home says that you are the reason for whatever happened to the child? Same rule. Don't let this thought enter your mind. Just answer them, yes, it may be. What can we do about that? Happened is happened. And you know that nobody knows what is the reason for the delay. So, why to worry about those comments? What if someone says that their children learns some unwanted behaviors from your child? Ask them to advise their child not to learn any new stuff from other children. It's their child and their problem, so they have to deal with it. We cannot do anything if their child learns something which they think is not needed. What if the apartment folks complain about child's shouting noise or of other behaviors? Your child will have a phase where he cannot control his emotions, and hence screaming and shouting during that time is very much normal. Your child will go through that phase and he will come over that in few months. Till that time, you decide not to hear or answer to those comments or questions. Just tell them you will handle it and don't do anything about that. Child will naturally come over that phase. Stay positive. The lines about subconscious mind and conscious mind are taken from a book called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. Thank you. If you find the video useful, like, subscribe, and share.